Hi you guys. So this is just a quick little video. I'm going to do a couple of them actually that just gives you an idea of what we were looking at covering tonight in class. So one of the things that you're going to do for your homework actually, and you can make one of these yourselves. I had homework sheets, but you can do this yourselves on your watercolor block, is take some black permanent marker and make yourself some of these little lines. And what you're going to do is just do a brush stroke over the top with your different colors. You can mix some colors and do some of that too. The idea is to see the transparency of your colors. The ones I did here are the hydrous colors, which we're also going to talk about in relationship to the color wheel and how can we avoid muddy colors. That's the second topic for tonight. So what you want to do is you want to just do this. We'll look at them next week. You can see the yellow is less transparent than the two shades of blue. One of those shades of blue has actually got just a little bit more pigment in it, less water. And so you can do that too. Like you can see down here with my magenta that this one is more water, this one is less water. And so anyway, fill up your spaces, more swatches. The more swatches you do, the more you will understand your paint, and that is the biggest key to this process. I chose the hydrous this week because we're actually going to do a painting, and I'll show that in a second video. But for now, I want to cover, these were my favorite brushes of the ones that we were given, and I liked the faux Kolinsky better than the faux squirrel for moving the paint around. And then this one is a great one for scrubbing back color. So you'll see that in the painting video that I do real quick. This was a great one to have too. We will be putting an order together for a couple of basic brushes. Would be good if you are interested in adding them to your collection. We'll talk about that next week. So, color wheel. I did the color wheel with, because you can see in the hydrous it has these two shades of red, and this is a reddish orange. And so I was looking to see which one of these two reds was going to be my primary red, as our primary reds are leaning in the more magenta range now that we have digital art. I wanted to see what colors I could get with the two different ones. So this one here is the more magenta pink, and the other one is the one that's more cadmium red. Not all cadmiums are that, what do they call this? They don't call it red cadmium, they call it rose or something. So this is just the hydra set on this color wheel. I'm going to send a blank along with the email so that you can do your own color wheel this week, because it's really important to learn how to mix the colors and to get the colors that you're looking for. So real quick, I'm just going to cover a couple basics of the idea of how do we get colors to not be muddy. So I always start with my primary red at the top, just because then I do it the same for every class. They don't have to be in any particular order, except for when you do the red, you can see it's attached to a line. Your yellow, primary yellow, needs to be attached to a line, and your primary blue needs to be attached to a line. And that is so that that line carries across, and you can see the complementary color that each one of those has. Complementary colors are hugely important when we're talking about muddy versus not muddy colors. These all look pretty translucent, but they were, I'm not doing a lot of mixing here. I'm only making the basic colors. So if we were going to start making colors that were like, well, even the oranges and greens, if I want to avoid a pea green, I'm going to make sure that the blue that I use is a good shade of blue. If I'm using the wrong shade of blue, it's going to turn into like pea soup. And that's what we mean by muddy colors. So I did a basic color chart first. Like I used the yellow that I used was this one, the bright yellow, because I know that if I used the warm yellow, that I was not going to get the shade of green that I wanted, or really the shade of orange that I wanted, because it was going to always lean to orange too much. So let's look at these guys. It'll be an easy way to explain it. If I'm going to try and make orange, I can pick this color yellow because it leans orange anyway, and this color of red because it's leaning more towards the orange than this color red is, or the magenta. So I can get a truer orange faster. And if I'm doing the blues, and trying to make green, because remember, we're trying to work with a limited palette here. The idea with the limited palette is that you can know your colors better, and your learning curve is faster because of mixing colors and stuff is easier with fewer colors. You get to know them better. This blue is a cool blue. This blue is a warm blue. This blue leans more into the purples, which is why they have it arranged in this nice little rainbow. And if you were making purple, you could go with this one and you would get to purple faster. This one will make a nice purple. It's usually the greens and the oranges that get more muddy than the purples do, my experience anyway. But if you're going to try and use this blue with this orangish yellow, you're going to get more of a pea green than if you use this blue with the brighter yellow. So let's see what your sets can do. If you do a basic color wheel, just keep in mind that you have the primary colors in a pyramid-like triangle, and then the secondary opposite of that, and then you get your tertiary colors, which are the intermediate ones between a primary and a secondary. And then we'll have that complementary thing going across. If you mix the primary colors, you can do shades of brown, and you can do them in the center if you want. But this is just for practice color mixing. I'm going to send this along in the email. You guys can make yourself this sheet with some permanent marker and just do another color watch thing. And then we're going to discuss more. We'll discuss all this stuff more in class, and we'll be able to answer questions and stuff as well live so everybody can hear them. If you have any questions while you're doing this or during the week, just email. We do coaching all week long. So we'll see you guys later, and I'm going to do another video with the painting part of tonight's lesson.